You know that song that has ain't nothing gonna break my side. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. That is the song that is now in my head because we have just had all kinds of technical difficulties this morning, but we are here. We're excited and we're ready to do another all new episode of Project Joy live here with you this morning. Get ready. It's coming up right now. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. I missed you guys the last little bit. I was here a week ago, Wednesday, and then we had a little snafu, had to take off Friday, and then Monday was Canadian Thanksgiving. And as many of you know, my husband is Canadian, so we have two Thanksgivings because why not? Why not? So we had that on Monday, but I am super excited because we have a great episode for you today as we are coming back. Usually this time of year, we're slowing things down, but because of the upcoming release of the Friendship Paradox, I feel like there's a lot. I feel like I can't quite catch my breath, but I'm going to do it with you here this morning. And we've got a great show. Let's talk about it now in the Morning Brew. All right. Are you awake? Are you ready to go? Are you feeling today? It is hump day, halfway through the week. You made it. It's all downhill towards the weekend from here. Really excited because Kat Stomska is here this morning from Scotland. And she is not only an amazing poet who you guys have seen on the Breakthrough Show, Project Joy, all the shows really. And but also she is one of the stars, dare I say, of the upcoming documentary, The Friendship Paradox, premiering on November 29th, which I'm thrilled about. And so she's here this morning to talk a little bit about her experience with doing the interview for the documentary. Obviously, she hasn't seen the film yet either. I haven't seen the film yet either, but I have seen all the little clips. And so she's going to talk about that with us here this morning. What else do we have going on? We have birthdays to do today. And I have got a few to make up for from over the last couple of days. What else do we have going on? I think that's probably about it. It's going to be a jam-packed show. Let me know what is bringing you joy today and where you're joining from. Miss Brittany is out there in the audience this morning. Good morning, Miss Brittany. Good to see you. Miss Nancy is here. Oh, I think Brittany was dancing to my my opening song this morning. You guys missed it. You just missed it if you came late. I don't know what to tell you. But we had some technical, Kat and I determined that we had too much joy this morning and we just broke the internet. We broke all of it this morning. So glad to have you guys here today. And I have a couple things. One, we're going to have an exclusive new clip released of the Friendship Paradox today. Really exciting. And I have a very special announcement at the end of the episode today. So you have to stay tuned, hang out with us. It's going to be amazing. Without further ado, I want to welcome our guest today. As I mentioned, she is a published poet. She leads our poetry readings and has done poetry workshops within our Breakthrough Show Network virtual community. I consider her to be a very dear friend, and I'm so excited that she was able to lend her wisdom and storytelling for our upcoming documentary, The Friendship Paradox. So please put your hands together and welcome virtually my friend, Kat Stomska. Good morning, Kat. Good afternoon, Kat.
Morning to you. And yes, indeed, good afternoon to me. I'm so glad to be back with you. I always love, spending time with you. And yes, thank you for the lovely introduction. You
Yes.
know,
We like to do that here. We like to make all of our guests blush before they come on the screen.
I'm definitely blushing a little, you know.
Well, I love it. And I wanted to kind of start out by, and we're going to get into the friendship paradox in a minute here, but I wanted to start out by you recently came out with your third poetry book, and tell us a little bit about like the progression from one book to the other, because it went from Poems with Soul to that I'm blanking the second one.
Yeah, then it's Scribbles from the Heart. And then we landed at Wounded Yet Whole, The Confessions of the Healing Mind. So yeah, that's definitely been a progression.
Yes, yes. How has this third one been received? Have you gotten any comments about it?
I was quite surprised that so many readers could actually see that my poetry this time around is slightly different.
Mm.
I would say it's a bit more upbeat, and it has a brand new chapter where I did around 100, maybe a few more acrostic poems based on songs that have helped me in my healing. And these are, some of the more famous songs and some of maybe not so famous. So, and it's my way to thank the artist as well, and maybe introduce some of my readers to maybe music they haven't considered listening to, but
Mm.
it's all my interpretations of the songs. And I think it's really that particular chapter. I want people to just pick up a random poem and trust that this is the message, whatever the poem is, that this is the message they want, they should hear, or they need to hear, to help them go through whatever they are going through. So
Love that.
thank you.
Love that. I'm so excited for you and all of the stuff that you're doing with your poetry. And I'm a little biased, but I'm very excited and happy that you chose to participate in the friendship paradox, because you and I had talked about friendship on a few occasions, I feel like before I even had presented the idea to you that we were going to do this project. Why was it important to you to participate in the friendship paradox?
I think it was first and foremost important because as adults, we often overlook friendships.
Mhm.
We don't talk. There is definitely not enough discussion about adult friendships and the difficulties of having, that's gaining friends or losing friends, and actually how we cope with going through the motions of, not maybe having that many friends anymore, because after school, when we all go separate ways, sometimes we move to different parts of the world. And even with the technology we have today, it's not as easy to keep in touch. Life gets busy, we might get our own family, we might be going through, some difficult times, and it's quite hard to sometimes find your people. And also we grow, so the people we were connected, when we were younger, are not necessarily the people that will stay in our life. So, and it was important for me to also, because as somebody who is an immigrant to Scotland, who came to Scotland, I had to learn my own ways to make friends here,
Mm.
and go through the added challenges that come with the fact that I wasn't born here. I have a different accent.
Mm.
So a lot of people would pick up on it very quickly. And there was always gonna be certain questions I will be asked, whether that's why I moved here, or, what was things like even why Scotland out of all the other countries. If I
Mm.
speak English, I could have gone, to any country,
Yeah.
and how long I'm gonna stay here. And then of course the other questions like, how are certain things in my native language, which is Polish, people asking for names. And so
Right.
it's been a definitely important subject for me. And I was very glad that you have given me the opportunity, to actually have and tell my story
Mm.
in among all the all the other stories that will be told in the documentary. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. It's interesting from my perspective to see things piecing together now in the end stages of the editing, like because I had set a whole set of questions that I had that I was going to ask every person that I interviewed. And for those of you that don't know, I interviewed 26 different people ranging in age from 30 to 90 years old. And so we have quite the the range of age. And male, female, relationship, not relationship, LGBTQ. We're very well represented. I feel like in the documentary. But I had the same set of questions that I asked everybody. And then occasionally I would deviate from a question and from the questions and ask something else. And one of the clip that I'm going to be showing everybody today is a question that I deviated from the original list of questions that I had, which is going to be interesting. So stay tuned for that. It's coming up here in a moment. But one of the questions that I asked everyone that you and I really connected on, as far as kind of why this subject is important to us, is that did we have some sort of expectation as to what friendship was supposed to look like when we got older? And so for me, it was like I would watch a show like Beverly Hills 90210, and all of the people were friends in school, and then they stayed friends and they were like working together and going to do these different things together. And it wasn't like that for me. Like I had a picture like, oh, that's what life is. Yes, I am aware that it was a TV show, but it's still, you get kind of in your head, like as a kid and as a teenager, this is what it's going to look like. And then when it doesn't look like that, you're kind of just like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And you answered similarly when I asked you that question, that you had kind of an idea of what things were supposed to look like, but then it's not what you thought it was going to be.
No, and I guess the I liked this question because we build our expectations based on our upbringing, based on our family circumstances, based on our surroundings at the time where we are growing up. And look, even going to as much detail as location. I was living in a small village when I was a teenager first, when I was in my early teens, and then I moved to a town with 22,000 people.
Mm.
So that was quite a big jump in itself, because I went from a village where everybody knew everybody, to a town where it took me a while to actually make friends.
Mm.
And I had to consider the fact that people could clearly work out that I was previously living in a village, because I was deemed a very loud kid, because I had a loud tone of voice. Because, when I was living in a village, I had about nearly a mile sometimes to my nearest neighbor. So
Mm.
that's, nobody could hear me. I could shout all I wanted. And it wasn't that I was really shouting, but to people around me, who are maybe used to noise as it is, a loud voice like mine was sometimes, really scary, I used to think. And so, yeah, I guess watching certain TV shows, and yes, I was a very big fan, and I still am, of that TV show myself.
Mm.
You definitely have some sort of expectations and reflections of, especially if you hear that maybe some of your friends also plan to go abroad to the same country, you
Right.
might think that they will be going, that it will be easy to communicate with them, or even when you exchange numbers. And then suddenly, like when I moved here, I thought maybe I will stay initially I told everybody I'm just going for 3 to 6 months. And then that time period passed, and I started enjoying my time here. I started to getting to know people around here. And this time of me staying here progressively got longer. And I was less and less often in Poland, and I
Mm.
started, and my social media presence also has changed because I started posting a lot more in English rather than doing the double translation I used to do at the very beginning, and so yeah, so definitely that was some sort of. It took me some time to actually adjust that. No, this isn't, but nobody really prepares you for it. Like
Right.
you don't, like nobody teaches us in school. Like even
Yeah.
when you have social subjects or like you talk about health and well-being in school, we don't get told that these friends to cherish really the friendships we have
Mm.
in school, even if it's just one friend, because you never know how long that friendship will last. And I guess if we were taught if you were maybe prepared in some way, in school, or if you had certain discussions with your family, some of us wouldn't have such a big shock. It would be
Mm.
probably a lot easier for us to cope with gaining new friends as adults. I certainly wasn't prepared. And like I said, the actual fact that I was in a completely different country, because I left all my friends in Poland. I was here
Yeah.
on my own before I got my family, and my children and stuff. So I kind of was I forced to in some way to make friends if I didn't want to be alone? In some way,
Mm.
probably.
Yeah.
So that was maybe being under pressure a little bit, um, motivated me to do something.
Yeah.
Uh, but certainly, I wasn't definitely prepared that I will only speak to a very, very selected few people out of all the 30 kids I had in my class, pretty
Mm.
much starting from the age of 7
Yeah.
to when I was 19 when I finished school.
Right. Right. Do you remember? So when we did the interview, do you remember and like any of the questions standing out to you, or is the whole thing a blur?
Uh, this question, this question was actually
Mm.
the one that stood out the most
Mm.
because I don't think I have until you asked me that question. I don't think I have ever even considered
Mm.
this whole thing, the preparation thing, to be actually an important aspect of
Right.
having friendships and actually uh, the fact that we are not ready. You are not ready to live your life most of the time.
Mm.
But then if you have the added aspects of trying to find new friends, we don't actually see that can add to so many of us. That adds another pressure, another
Yeah.
angle to our life. And as much as we sometimes might think, having a few friends is, of course, trusted friends, of course, is better than having an army of people who don't really, pay attention to you.
Right.
But it's still hard to sometimes find
Mm.
those selected few, especially if you feel like you need to start from the beginning.
Right.
So
Right. There was a set of three questions. One was, you know, did you have any, the one that we talked about, did you have any expectations of what friends were supposed to look like? Two, what were you taught, if anything, about friendship? And three, did you have any examples from whether they were fictional characters or, your parents or whatever, of what friendship was supposed to look like? And those three questions I found from my perspective were really contemplative ones for mostly everybody who did the interviews, because it's not something that we've really stopped to think about. Because that the one, have you ever been taught anything? Were you ever taught anything specifically about friendship? And I thought to myself, all I could think of in my head, I think it was like a Spice Girls song or something that was like "Friends Forever" or something like that. Who
mhm,
sang that song? Somebody help me. It was, the lyrics said something about friends forever. And like I said, then I see 90210, and I would see these other examples of like, oh, friends forever. That's what it's supposed to look like. But really, I don't, other than some of the things like you had said in your interview of people saying, well, be nice, be inclusive, that sort of thing. It wasn't like, this is how you handle the transition of what friendship is going to be between childhood, then being a teenager, which is a whole other thing, then becoming an adult.
mhm,
So
mhm.
it was interesting, I think, with those three questions, with everybody that was involved. But I want to, you talked about moving around. And one of the things that I feel very blessed about that I had the opportunity to ask you was about the different languages you speak, and specifically the word friend in different languages and the weight it holds. So, without further ado, I want to share with you guys a brand new clip. This clip is called The Language of Friend from Kat from the Friendship Paradox.
I would say in my mother tongue, which is Polish, certainly there is an additional meaning, and I always felt closer, like that. The sound of that word, which is przyjaciółka, it's a little more. It like gives me a little more meaning. It's like somebody, almost like a teddy bear, which you can hug and hold, when you really need to, and without like any questions asked, and they are just there. Whereas like the English word friend is more, I associate it more with, having, friends at work, friends maybe who I met on the bus, or maybe somebody asked me for time and we started, kind of having friendly conversation. So yeah, in certain ways there is a slightly different meaning.
Yeah, it sounds like your interpretation of the American or English word friend is more like acquaintance. Well, we would say acquaintance, or someone that we just meet and not necessarily have a friendship with.
Yeah, we could. I think I would agree with that, or at least that was like at the very beginning. Maybe because I needed time to adjust to to new culture. I've moved to Scotland nearly 18 years ago, so that's a long time, and over time certainly the word friend has gotten a different and like deeper meaning for me, but I don't think it's gonna be ever as close as the original meaning of a friend which I grew up with, as part of my own language.
Yes, that was an exclusive first look at another clip from the Friendship Paradox starring Kat Stomska. Yay.
Thank you.
I chose that. Let me tell you, I chose that clip because of your association of the word like a teddy bear. And I felt something so hard with that clip, and it really does. That's how I think of friendship in a way. And I really feel like that clip speaks so beautifully to differences in language and how we might interpret things, which interpreting and communication is such a huge part of friendship too.
Yes, indeed. And I still, despite the fact that it's been some time since we did that first recording, and my meaning of friendship hasn't changed. I still hold it dear, maybe because so I've been here 18 years. I need another 4 years in here to be equally as long in Scotland as I was in Poland. Maybe in those 4 years, this meaning will change, or maybe it will stay like this, like this forever. I always felt that word, maybe because I see it and I hear it used in so many more ways than what I grew up with. I only ever used that word when I was really close to someone. And here, friends is a lot more broader, even with my, day-to-day life. So.
Right. I agree. Okay. So final question about this. What do you hope for? I mean, you can talk about yourself or anybody else watching the film. What do you hope to get out of the film, or do you hope that others get out of watching the film?
I really hope that this film will become a starting point of a conversation, of a conversation about adult friendships more often. That it will raise awareness of sometimes how difficult have be, becoming someone's friend is, and what are the I would say unspoken challenges or difficulties we might face as adults, because a lot of us are, not everybody will be open and say, I'm struggling to make friends. Not everybody will be, willing to have a bigger group of friends. And I think, I really hope that we will come out of this movie or that film actually knowing that it's okay to take your time to make friends, that it's not that what you learn as a child becomes part of how you form friendships in later life, but it doesn't have to define. So if you struggled having friends as a child, who is to say that you will struggle forever? Because we grow, we should be really open to having a go. Just like we are open, to our dreams and chasing our dreams, and we are
Mhm.
always told to go for it. I think that approach should also be applied to friendships,
Mhm.
which form such an important part. We overlook friendships as adults a lot more than we overlook, as children, because I think as children we are so busy just enjoying it. A lot of us are just enjoying the fact that we have somebody to play with,
Right.
that we don't think that far ahead. But then why should we think?
Right.
We should celebrate each part of our, each phase of our life,
Yeah.
and embrace it. So why should we expect children to think that far in the future?
Right.
you
Right.
know so
I
that's
love
what
it.
I hope. That's
I
what I
hope
hope
I
people.
agree with you. I hope it's a start of a conversation as well. That's all I can hope, is that it will open up dialogue that wasn't happening before, or something of that nature. So listen, if you missed the playing of the exclusive clip from the Friendship Paradox with Kat, make sure you go back and check that out when the show's over, and let us know what you think. Let us know if you're excited for the upcoming documentary. Again, it's coming out November 29th. We're going to take a quick break. Kat, are you going to stick around with us for a few more minutes? All
Yes,
right,
I will
we're
stick
gonna
around. Thank you.
we're gonna take a quick break, and after the break, I've got the very special announcement for you. So don't go anywhere.
On April 4th, I was 90 years old, grandson of slaves. My parents were first generation free. A long time ago, I embraced the definition of love. Love is the experience of well-being. And a friend is one who mutually shares that experience of well-being with you, which opens up almost infinite creative possibilities.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. We are here today with the fabulous Kat Stomska, joining us from Scotland, sharing her thoughts and experience about friendship in general and our upcoming documentary, The Friendship Paradox, which you've seen not one, but 2 clips today on Project Joy Live. We're really excited. November 29th, save the date. It's going to be amazing. Danielle's joining us this morning, also another star of The Friendship Paradox. Good to see you here this morning with Danielle. Let us know what you guys think of the clip. Were you able to resonate with Kat's thoughts about the word friend? So I have an announcement, but I'm going to wait till after birthdays because I'm the host and I can make you wait. Okay, so we're gonna do birthdays first. Here we go.
Happy birthday to you.
All right. In the world of celebrity, John Mayer, singer John Mayer, is 47 years old today. Happy birthday, John Mayer. Flea is 62. He is the bassist from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You guys know Flea. He's a wild man, but he's 62 today. That made me feel real old. Anyway, so 2 people who are no longer with us, but big influences in my life. One, Angela Lansbury, who passed away in 2022. Angela Lansbury, incredible actress. And then also Suzanne Summers, who we lost last year. Another amazing actress. We knew her from Three's Company, but I loved her in the show Step by Step. And the entire cast of Step by Step, minus Suzanne, of course, was at 90s Con when I went back in March. And it was so cool to get to see all of them live. You guys might have remembered I shared pictures with Stacy from the show. Also, the celebrities in my life, past panelist on the Breakthrough Show, Genevieve Kahn, has a birthday. Recently, Barbara Shoughton, who's been a guest on the Breakthrough Show, Michelle Risa, who's been a guest on the Breakthrough Show, and also another Breakthrough alum, Laura Staley. And then 2 friends, Dave Bryden and Amy Lovett, had birthdays. Do you know anybody that's had birthday recently, Kat?
No, actually, most of my friends have birthdays around about November, December. I have one coming up later this month, and then it's like early in the year, like January, June.
Yeah. February is a really good, yes. Yeah. February is a great month, everybody. Just putting it out there.
Is it really?
February is a great month. Plus, the Breakthrough Show will be back after
break. Yes, it is.
February.
February is actually a great month because of Fat Thursday,
Yep. All right, that's our birthdays. Let's get our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John Mayer, Flea, Angela, Suzanne, Genevieve, Barbara, Dave, Amy, Michelle, and Laura. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. I hope you are set up to have an absolutely amazing day. And we should just make an announcement real quick. All right, you guys, I don't know how this is gonna go. Let me find my button here. All right. So you guys may hear that there's a song playing in the background now. This song is Shoulder by Olivia Ambani, who we've come to know and love here, one of my regular co-hosts here on Project Joy Live. And this song, Shoulder, is going to be in the Friendship Paradox documentary. So we are going to be hearing Olivia Ambani in the show.
Exciting.
And the lyrics, they just fit. They fit the whole vibe of the film, and I'm so excited that Olivia agreed for this song to be part of the documentary. And so, special thank you to Olivia. We appreciate you. We love you so much, and I'm super just over the moon to make that announcement today. Yay! So excited.
Exciting.
It's
Very
going to be
exciting.
so great. It's going to be so great. Anne Marie's joining us this morning. Good morning. I always miss it. I always miss it. You go back and watch the replay, Anne Marie, because this was a good one today. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. It was a nice surprise. I had to wait. But I'm very excited about that. And so we'll talk more to Olivia about that the next time she's on the show, which will be next Wednesday. And it'll be great. So thank you again, Kat, for sharing your thoughts about the upcoming film. I'm so glad you're a part of it.
You're welcome. I'm so glad I can support you, not just as a friend, but as someone who has watched your whole journey. So, and it is an important topic. So
it is.
It's been a pleasure, and I cannot wait to see it all.
Me too. I'm just as excited as everybody else because, I could piece things together. I hosted it, I edited it, producing it, and you see the little pieces, but then to watch the entirety of it is going to be a whole, I'm with you guys. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. So I'm really excited about that. I want to thank all of you for joining us each and every episode. Anne Marie says, what time are you on? We are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern time, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So don't miss it. It is very exciting. We are thrilled. And I'm going to be back Friday with an all new episode, and Leah is going to be joining me. We were going to do Lilo and Stitch this week, but we made the decision because Halloween is coming up. We are going to be talking about It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Friday's show. Very exciting. I love it. I have been listening to Linus and Lucy nonstop. It's my fall vibe song. So that's what we've been doing over here. Thank you again, Kat, for joining us today. Thank you, all of you, wherever you are in the world today. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you to make joy a priority in your life today and every day because you are the joy. And we'll see you Friday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And I've been lifting myself up.